we wanted to touch on the fact that Jordan Henderson has now been confirmed the worst kept secret in sport. He's gone to Saudi Arabia for what I would describe as a money smash and grab job. Get in, get the cash, get out of there. Cristiano Ronaldo showed them the way. We can do this. We can go in, knock a couple of really good years out of our career for money wise anyway. Messi obviously was doing it with his endorsement of Saudi Arabia, even though he didn't eventually take the playing move. We shouldn't laud him too much. Like, he was definitely there supporting as an ambassador. Beckham took the dough, obviously from Qatar during the World Cup as well. Henderson now, you've Benzema, obviously, Firmino, Kante.
Yeah, Mbappe turned it down.
Mbappe was like a cigarette paper away from just doing it. So like, I wouldn't, I saw somebody saying, like, I can't believe that, he's turning down the PSG, the righteousness of PSG to make a move to Saudi Arabia. So, look, for the source of money.
You're at PSG, of course.
The list is going to get bigger and bigger, and where is it going to end is really up to the Saudis. Do they have the desire to continue to attract the world's best players to Saudi Arabia? Because the players are going to continue to say yes, right? Like, I don't think there's any doubt about that. When that eye-watering sums of money are on the table, I think they're just going to keep saying yes. So I think, obviously, a lot of the fallout of the Henderson stuff has been his support of the LGBTQ plus community, the rainbow laces, the rainbow armband, the hand wringing around the World Cup, and we want to take all these stances, and bad old FIFA aren't going to allow us to do it. And it just turns out it was all nonsense. And I do think that the worst mistake that we make, and I fall into it in the same way that everybody else does, is investing too much in the righteousness of players who ultimately, and I don't overly judge them, because we can have a conversation and most likely will know about whether, because it always comes back to, would you do that? And I don't know, it's a crazy hypothetical situation. I wouldn't overly judge the players that are doing it, because the sums of money are crazy, and if somebody offered you that money, your first response, whatever way you look at it, wouldn't be, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's what do I have to do?
You're going to sit and certainly have a think about it for a little while. So where you end up after that, who knows? But I do think that we need to stop falling into the trap of investing too much in, the Henderson case just proves this now. No more come on, Jordan Henderson, or whoever the next person will be who's wearing the rainbow laces or wearing the rainbow armband, because it's paper thin.
Well, it shows that all that support is completely conditional and completely circumstantial, depending on where you are.
It's not really support, I think, is probably the point I'm making.
That's the hope. But optics. It's not support if you can be bought, essentially. You look at that, and I accept your point that they're huge sums of money, and players, I've heard the case made before that you've only one career, so you have to kind of take what comes and take the best opportunity. But I remember Ger said a quote one time that it really stuck with me. Are you not a citizen of the world? Do you not understand this stuff? Do you not go, all these people who end up going to Saudi Arabia, the question or the response is always, I'm here for football. I'm not here for politics. That's not what I'm doing. I'm a footballer first. I'm not here to field all those questions, which I don't think is good enough, really. I think these are social questions that are in our society. They are, I would say, the LGBTQ plus community, especially in a club like Liverpool, would make up a sizable part of that supporter base. So you can't look at a move like that as anything other than a middle finger to them, really. Yeah, that's the point. It's not so much a case of, how much are your principles worth? It's that your legacy is that all of that work that you've done to support that community is gone now. And Thomas Hitzelsberger made that kind of allusion in his tweet yesterday, excoriating Henderson, that it's not even a case of I'm not supporting them anymore. It's that everything that I'd done up to that point was meaningless, absolutely meaningless.
Yeah, I think there's a few strands to it. When you're saying there, Cameron, that they're there for football, I often wonder the standard in Saudi Arabia. If you're there for football, really, you could go backwards playing out there. Now, a lot of these, players that are going there might be coming to the end of their careers, and it might make sense that way for them. And okay, they look at the money. We have some players that are going out there. Jota, in particular, from Celtic. He's only 24 years of age. He was on the cusp of, getting in the Portuguese team, and now he's gone out there. So you look at that as well of where is his career going to go after this, and obviously morally then as well. you have a short career, you've one life. Like, I think you do need to look at your own morals and what's important to you in life, because at the end of the day, football is just football. And you know, are you going to be happy if you've all this money in the bank, but really morally, your family, I'm sure there's a hell of a lot of people within your family circle that have so many people within that community, you know, that are going to be disappointed by all of this. I'm sure himself, other people as well. I'm sure morally they have to be a little bit like, this isn't right, you know. And
I think that point is spot on. And he has set fire to all of that, Jordan Henderson now. So he has gone, I'm an advocate for you, you've no voice, and I'm going to be an advocate for you, and I'm going to, you know, really publicly stand behind you and say that I'm in your camp, and whatever support you need, I'm here for you. And he just went up in a puff of smoke. He went, there's a trailer load of cash over here, and I'm going to take it. I hope that, like, even the players that are saying, I'm doing this for football, like, it's the live golfers who went to grow the game. Piss off, like.
Yeah.
You know,
they've subsequently admitted, no, not really.
Yeah, and it never was, like, it's, you know. But
then you look what happened there. Like, and Rory McIlroy was so outspoken about it all, and in the end, he looked like the one who was the idiot in the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do we expect too much? Do we, on that point of, like, investing in the rainbow laces and the armband and bending the knee and all that sort of stuff? Do we expect too much? Is that something we should stop? Is the Henderson case evidence that we should stop expecting sports people to be advocates for stuff that we know, by and large, they couldn't really give two hoots about?
We don't know that, and I think sport is so powerful that we need to take these stands. We have to speak out at these moments. I think, I would like to say majority, maybe I'm just living in a bubble, but I would like to say that the majority of them who do speak out and take these stands do mean it. Like,
until the trailer or the cash arrives. That's my point. Like, I think I'm sure Jordan Henderson meant all that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you mentioned before we came on air about the video that was dead black and white at the armband, the rainbow armband and stuff. I'm certain that Jordan Henderson woke up or whatever, saw that video and went, oh Jesus.
Yeah, he wasn't told about that.
I'm sure he meant all that.
He signed
but
up,
at the same time,
he knew what he was signing up.
Setting a match to all of that.
Oh,
no possibility to go, by the way, I'm still with you. That's bullshit. Like,
you
that's
waive
gone.
your right to have any say in what they do from that point on. And your point on, do we expect too much of athletes? I don't think so, because we are all so familiar of how big a cultural phenomenon football and sport more generally is, and how much of a platform it is for certain cases. And we've seen countless times in history athletes using that platform to champion a cause, rightly or wrongly. Sometimes there are other causes that we don't agree with, but they've been able to use that, and that's kind of gone away just a little bit over the last while because of the age of social media, I think, and the whataboutery, and you said this, and Jordan Henderson is a great example of a kind of, you were a supporter of LGBTQ plus rights, and here's you saying such and such, and we've seen loads of players going, I would never go to Saudi Arabia, or I support this, and then end up going. But the problem is, if players and managers aren't using that platform, others are, which is why I think Just Stop Oil have been really successful and gotten people's wicks so easily by using sports events, because they recognise that it is a massive opportunity to get your message out there. So if players and sport is still going to be used for causes, I don't care. And that whole notion of sport and politics not mixing, I think, is nonsense.
Crazy, yeah.
But if players and managers aren't doing it, someone will do it, and it will be very inconvenient for the rest of the sporting community. So you might as well take a stand, I think. What have you to lose?
Where does this stop, though? Like, it's so soulless. It's taking the best players out of, say, the Premier League and the likes. Like, I'm sure that's going to dilute that too. And then we see them going to play this standard that we're told isn't great. Where does it end? Like,
unless they flood that league with, like,
I know, and which they're doing. They're absolutely doing.
Like, I mean, does at that point become, you have to watch it, like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. It does feel like a million miles away from that, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't have to watch it. The Saudi League and the Saudi clubs have clearly identified the general trend of how football is supported these days, which is that it's players rather than clubs. So if I can sell an al-ettifaq shirt with Henderson on the back, or al-Nassr shirt with Ronaldo on the back, that's just as good as Ronaldo playing for, in fact it's probably better than Ronaldo playing for a Premier League club, say like a United, in terms of getting...
You mean globally, like that that there are people around the world buying
people
these
still
jerseys?
wear those jerseys.
Think?
You know, they've identified
what sort of numbers? That's actually a good point I hadn't thought about. Like, I wonder what sort of numbers are they selling al-ettifaq? Is that the name of the jerseys with Henderson on the back?
Yeah, how many they are. But they
can't
tell
imagine that.
even
Is
crappy
there?
replicas, like knockoff ones, it still gets the message across that he's playing for that club. And it feeds into what I think is becoming a trend in football and sport more generally, of kids today, and here I go sounding like a 90-year-old man, it's the TikTokification of sport. That you just want the moments. You want to see Jordan Henderson absolutely wowing the crowd against insert Saudi team here, and that'll be your clip.
Jordan Henderson recently, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I don't know what they think they're
terrible
getting.
example. But like Ronaldo going through 10 absolutely terrible players, because that's the stuff on TikTok with a song, and go, oh, what a goal by Ronaldo. That's how you get to that fan base.
Any of that stuff that I've seen on TikTok, and I have seen it, you see the goalkeeper like thumping the ground or sitting there so disappointed, and you're like, what? Like, really? Are you like serious? Like, come on now. You know, how disappointed can you be that you're like this bog standard goalkeeper and one of the world's best players has like
against
planted
him.
one past you?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you know,
Acquitted yourself well
acting
there.
your disappointment is